What's up, y'all? My name is Ian Edwards, and welcome to the Soccer Comic Rant. We got three hosts who all got combined 3 points together for the weekend. One, and one. You know what I'm saying? So, as far as that's concerned, we're all on the same energy and level. We didn't lose, but we ain't win. And we'll get into the conversations about those games. One of those games will be Man City versus Arsenal. And is this, I asked before the pod started if it was derby now, just because of the energy and the vehemency. And Lee, you said it was a
Rivalry, not a
rivalry,
derby for
not a
me.
derby.
Yeah.
All right, that's cool. But we'll talk about that energy, that rivalry energy. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Chelsea. Chelsea done rope-a-doped the entire league. They had a transfer window that made them look dumb, and they played smart on the pitch. So we'll talk about their game, their win. We'll talk about Man City versus Crystal Palace. Southampton getting points on the board. Congratulations, breaking their point cherry in the Premier League. So we're happy about that. And I said Man City versus Arsenal. Who else do we want to talk about? Liverpool, Bournemouth, maybe. And who else had some flashpoints that you guys can remember that happened?
Brighton
Spurs
Forest
won.
was spicy today.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, the game before the game. Forest versus Brighton. Yes, and I'm glad what happened in that game. So yeah, we'll talk about that. So we got Lee Hudson, stand-up comic, Southampton fan. He's in England right now, and he went to his team's game. So more boots on the ground, reporting from that. And we got Alex Avila, Man City fan. Fans be going in on him online, but he's a legit City fan, based on his entry point. And so, I trust him as far as that's concerned. But nobody likes City. That's the whole point. That's why, your association with them is stigmatized, fam. So it just is what it is. So what's up, stand-up comic? How you feeling?
Man,
How you feeling after dropping points? The first points dropped at home to a team.
I'm just catching L's this week. I told you the comedy competition just been a bad week for Alex, man.
Oh yeah. So tell me about this comedy competition. At least your team got some points, but you lost.
I did not get no points. Well, I'm gonna say it as it is. It was rigged.
You got to give more context than this.
More context. All right.
Well, City fans know about things being rigged.
Yeah. You know what? We don't need no more context. If you say it's rigged, it's rigged.
I pull up with it was in my hometown. It was in my hometown, so it's like my home turf, and I pull up with all my family. 60 Mexicans with Alex pictures, Alex Six Flags and stuff. They do the
Bro,
counting the boats.
Bro, that sounds rigged.
Right, I'm talking about I grab people from everywhere in Mexico. It's like pull up, fam, I got you. And all of a sudden they're doing the counting boats and stuff. And there was million boats, dead people boating, people calling over the phone and boating and stuff. And I was like, I ended up losing. I was like, this is rigged, man. So it was rigged.
What place did you come in?
I have no idea. They just said no, it wasn't rigged, but it was rigged,
What's the name of the winner of the contest? Who was there?
I think you met him. It was I think you met him before Chadwick.
Chad, who booked the shows out there on Springs? Okay. Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, I voted for that guy. He booked me once.
I voted for Chad. I gotta be honest.
Yeah.
That's how we met.
That's right. That's right. No, so I've been just catching else, but what do you call it? Like the game, the City game.
Yeah, I'm
I
wondering
don't
if I
know,
can
man.
let you talk through it, or should we all go through point by point? But normally we get to talk individually and say our piece about our game. So go ahead and let it all out, fam.
I think it was. I feel like I want to hear first you guys' opinions. Actually, it's I'll be. I know this is called the soccer
Let
comedy rant, and I am on a rant about a bunch of about things about everything because there's stuff about to rant about
well
the
well
ref, City, Guardiola,
let's talk about
Arteta,
let's talk about the ref first. So
the ref.
the ref first. So over here, they're kind of blaming the ref for, first of all, they thought Trossard's second yellow was because of the barge, which to me is still a yellow, right? But not to Lee,
When he went
apparently.
against Bernardo.
Right. So they're saying,
I don't think that was I think the yellow was for
but
him kicking the
no,
ball.
no, no, I know. They
Yeah.
thought it was for that, but then they found out it's for the extra kick of the ball, which every Arsenal player should know, hey, let's not do that. You know what I mean? And I'm watching a little bit of Arsenal fan TV. So first, the first part of that is, hey guys, the ref was lenient to everybody at the beginning of the game, and nobody got cards. But he's telling you, I see him telling you guys, chill, chill, because it's like your dad. He's like, don't make me. But he never just comes up there with the belt. He's like, hey, I'm gonna come up there with the belt in a minute if y'all don't stop stomping on the floor. And then it stops, and then it starts again. Stops and then starts again. Then you go up there with the belt. And the referee went out there with the cards and started giving them out. So I don't blame the ref. I don't think the ref he knew it was a rivalry. He knew it was intense. So he trusted the players after he spoke to them to calm down and act accordingly, which is tough. And he gave them the leeway to act out, like Lee said, within the bounds of a rivalry. Now, Lee, what do you think about the ref?
I mean, I still think it was a harsh red. Like Trossard's been silly because he's given the ref an option to do it by. I mean, like I said, the foul isn't a yellow. It's just silly that he sort of barged into him, but it's not like if it was basketball, it would be a flagrant. He's just sort of challenged clumsily jumping in. And then for me though, the kicking of the ball was like too quick for it to be like fully like a booking for me. But like you say, the ref had told him to calm down. I think it would warrant just another talking to, but yeah, he's given the referee an option to send him off. I thought it was harsh, but it's also stupid from Trossard. So
Yeah. And plus, just to add to that, it's like the ref ain't gonna let you off of two fouls in a row in one play. You have to chill. You know what I mean? Like Declan Rice last week or a few weeks ago, he fouled the guy and then kicked the ball away. So then the ref had to give him something for one. So Trossard did the same thing. What do you feel about the ref as a Man
Yeah,
City?
I think like if it would have been I don't think it was. I mean, if he would have given a red card, I mean, if he yellow and red card, if he does it, if he doesn't do it, I think like either option, I would have been probably okay with it. I don't think like that's. I think like if he doesn't give him a red card, I'll probably be like, dude, he should kick the ball out. But I can understand why you don't get somebody a red card, like he did. But I think the ref did because I think he, in my opinion, this is again my opinion, and I'll explain what I'm gonna refer. But I think he definitely felt like he screwed City over in the first goal, after basically when all the players went after him, Guardiola went after him. The assistants are telling him, is like, hey, I think we messed up because I'll give you an example. I was telling my friends that I went to like watch the game with some Arsenal people, Man City people, and I was like, I know Walker, it's a right back, and the ref is calling him to, hey, come over here. I gotta talk to you guys 1-on-1. Come over here. Let's huddle up. This is what's happening and stop it. But if he was a goalie, the ref makes sure he gets back, and he's not gonna let the game start until the goalie gets back to it. Uh, but for Walker, he's not a goalie, so he's a player in the field. So he's like, okay, we finished talking, let's continue to play. And I think like I put a lot of blame on Walker, but I think the ref like it's like you did mess up like basically that play. But for him to call the goal, you can't do that. He cannot call the goal, but he did affect the situation, if that makes sense, you know?
All right, so you're saying it's a makeup call.
I think like a little bit. I think like because of that, I think like he was just like he was like, oof, I can't like screw City on the first goal. If I give this, which is normally called, it'll be. I think it was just bad reffing all over the place because I think like that was not. I would not myself. I would not have given the red card, but also like the first goal, he affected the first goal.
But Walker recovered, so it's not Walker recovering. Plus, why don't you just be alert? You know, like Man City takes fast free kicks. This is not like the first time a team has ever taken a fast free kick in the history of free kicks, or taking a free kick yards away from where it couldn't happen. You just have to be alert, you know?
Correct, but the ref did call basically Walker and was like, hey, come over here.
Yeah, but
like
Walker recovered though. Like Walker recovered. He shut down the incursion that Grealish was doing, and then the ball went back out, but nobody else was like covering Calafiori, who took a monster.
But if Walker was in his right place from the get-go, that ball doesn't go past that. I mean, yeah, like obviously like that. I'm not saying like that 100% it's basically the reason they score. But if Walker's in his right spot, I don't know if he was Rice or he was basically who Partey that did pass. They play short. They wouldn't be. I'm gonna play Martinelli in a 1-on-1 against Walker in a true ball.
I don't know, man. It's just you just have to be alert, you know.
Yeah.
Like I'm being cold-blooded about this because neither of these are my team.
Yeah, no, I get you. I'm also like the one in the play in the corner. I don't think it's a foul. I don't think it's a foul in the corner, the Arsenal second goal. There's because I mean Bar actually went to Bar like VAR. The second goal from Arsenal.
Let's talk about these corners. Arsenal took the same corner twice in a row.
Yeah.
I don't after the setup of the first corner and how Man City escaped not conceding by the skin of their teeth on the first one. Why would they set up identically on the second one as the first one? The only thing they changed was like, all right, let's get a taller, shorter guy to mark Gabriel, who is the leading scoring defender for the last 4 years in the Premier League. It's like, so, okay, Doku didn't work, which Doku should have never been on him. Like, I saw that first one and Doku on him. I'm like, what are they doing? Then he almost scores. Then they say, Walker. It's like, you got a bunch of tall guys in blue standing at the near post, just a ton of them. And then you have Arsenal overloading the back post. You know from the first corner that they can get it over those trees in blue and get it to the back. Why? Just somebody explain to me, why did City set up the same way?
It's just like, I mean, I'll tell you as simple as it is. Guardiola is a stubborn person. You know, he's like, this is the way we've been doing it. I am not changing it. Like, this is the way we've been practicing. We haven't scored us in a corner, but it happened. I do feel like basically this whole thing Arsenal is doing. I mean, I don't think I think eventually like the rule might change to kind of like affect Arsenal. You know, it's like they're not doing something like illegally, but I think like Martinelli getting on the way of the goalie, it's kind of like it's now I can see a rule being changed because that those like three players going to Ederson, you know, blocking him because they're kind of blocked. It's not a foul, but they're like specific in their way. I can see eventually if Arsenal keeps scoring 20 goals and every single team in the world starts doing that, FIFA to be like new rule. You cannot be in the goalie's space during a corner or whatever you want to call it. You know.
Speaking of FIFA, is there any way to set up that type of corner in the game, the video game, where you could just fence in the goalkeeper and just get corners and just pin this motherfucker in a jail, in a solitary standing confinement box, and just like slam headers in, because I'd get back on.
But
Lee, do you,
I think
you have anything
I
on
think
the
you're
corner,
gonna.
Lee?
Go on, Alex.
Oh, I was just gonna add. Like I think like a goalie like Ederson is not the best goalkeeper. He's the best goalkeeper with the ball in their feet, and I feel like another keeper with more experience will probably play it out as like him punching the ball and screaming, "Oh, I got pushed," and they'll call him like basically. I think like Alisson, I mean Lionel Martinez, that's gonna happen. That's not gonna happen to them. They have too much experience to be getting pushed by players like that.
Uh, I'm just looking at the list. So, Lee, last week we were talking about how Arsenal was going to approach this game. They did not approach this game the way we talking about. They approached it the exact opposite way. So they went at City, which we know don't leave space for Haaland to run into, and that's what happened on the first goal. So here's my question: do you think that the sending off of Trossard forced Arsenal into playing the way that me and you described that they would actually start the game, and actually eventually got them a point out of this? Because if they'd have continued, even though they went up a goal, they would have probably continued to attack City. And there's no way City wouldn't score. If City scored with everybody sitting back, how would they not have scored with Arsenal attacking them?
I mean, obviously the way they were forced into playing after the sending off was kind of an extreme version of what they'd done previous games. But I like that they came out attacking, because I think people might have looked at the way Arsenal played last time at City, the way Arsenal played at Spurs last week, and think, okay, let's work on how we beat this Arsenal. And then it's sort of almost like mind games to be like, nah, surprise, we're going to come out and play higher up. So I don't know if it's like, some tactical mind games going on there, but Arsenal were impressive when they did have a go. Like you say, it left them a little bit open at times, but they were going, blow for blow. And just a wild finish from Calafiori on his goal to take that left-footed first time from there was pretty crazy. I love the Haaland goal as well. Just the finish was so clever, because normally like a player will try and open up and go across the keeper there, but it was almost like a toe punt. He was like, no, I'm just going to pop it in this little corner here. And yeah, it was, and I was excited by this game in that first half. And then obviously the corner goes in, and I'm like, oh, we got a real game on our hands here, because I mean, I was at the boxing at Wembley on Saturday night with two guys just swinging punches at each other, and that's what this game felt like. Just two teams, they were just swinging punches at each other, just attack, you attack, we attack kind of thing. And I was enjoying that. And then I feel like the sending off just kind of killed the game as a spectacle, as a contest kind of thing. And then, I mean, Arsenal were doing every shithouse tactic in the book in that second half to try and preserve that win, and it almost worked for them. You could see the release and the frustrations for City after they scored when Haaland picked up the ball and just launched it at Gabriel's head. I don't know if you saw that at all. The ball just bouncing off his head. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, it kicked off after the restart, and Haaland just went and barreled straight into someone. So yeah, he was on one at that point, and it's just a shame. I would have really been interested to see how that game would have panned out at 2-1 Arsenal with 11v11. Because City could have got back into it because there might be more space, or maybe Arteta comes out and goes defensive anyway for the second half, even if they have 11. Obviously not to the extreme that they did, but yeah, I think it robbed us of a chance to see a really good 90 minutes of football, whereas it was an interesting 45, or up until the red card, whatever time that clocked in at. So a point doesn't really do anyone any favors, but it doesn't really hurt anyone either. So I guess, you know, we have to see where the title race pans out. You know, nothing gets decided this early in the season anyway, but it's all to play for.
And then I want to ask Alex, like, how excited were you? Two questions. How excited were you when Haaland's goal went in, and how did it make you feel that this was going to go? And then how did you feel when Rodri went down?
Wait, like the first Haaland goal? When the first goal happened?
The only Haaland goal.
Oh, okay. Okay. I don't know why you thought like the second goal, like when we drew the game. But the first when the first goal goes in, just because I think like I saw like a City kind of like domination at the beginning. Like Gundogan had a shot that normally against United he made that goal. Remember, like at the FA Cup, same goal. Like
I remember the game you lost. Yeah. How could I forget?
Correct. So I like basically that one for Gundo. Like, okay, if you would have scored that in a free kick, like it could have been a 2-0 City within 20 minutes, and then Rodri goes down.
I love football fans because we count shots that don't go in so hard. You know what I'm saying? And
it's a game of like a small teams, right? Small little margins, like it could have been like 2-0, but then Rodri gets injured like a play later. Couple minutes later, the games were 1-1, and right before the end of the game, like 2-1, and then Arsenal has 10 minutes. So it's just every kind of play, just a game changes quick, right? Like that's kind of what we're. So yeah, when he scored, I thought I was like, oof, I can see this. I can see City scoring 5.
Damn.
Because they can keep it open up. Like normally we struggle with Arsenal because they play low block, but I'm like, okay, I want to see how Arsenal is gonna come and basically because the moment you start attacking, like you're gonna make it easier for, like normally we struggle with you because you're playing low block and stuff. So I can see like, oh, it's gonna be interesting.
And then how did you feel when Rodri went down?
No, I think like for some reason I don't know how bad is his injury, but when I first saw it, I was like, okay, I don't think he's that bad. But then once he started basically like pulling his ligament, I was like, okay, he's gone. He's done for the season because last season he played almost every single match, and now he probably it's hilarious because he actually complained this week about having a union of football players, and they basically like we're playing too much, and I'm like, okay.
Well, he's got time to work on that union now.
Exactly. Now it's like this is what you wanted, man. Now you're not playing.
Yeah, this maybe he's not even hurt. This is his strike. Did you hear anything about the injury after the game? Like any word?
I think like it's tomorrow. Tomorrow he's gonna get some tests done and stuff, but I think he's probably gonna. I'm thinking it's gonna be a month, at least a month.
All right, and then give me your rant just on the entire game, because then you could tell us how you felt when you got the goal at the end.
Here's the rant on where, like, basically I had a rant on the ref, I had a rant on
and take your time and slow down
corners.
and understand some of these words, because you said Gundogan wrong as hell.
Gundogan. How do you say Gundogan?
You just said it.
All right. Well, I say in Spanish. Gundogan. Here's my rant with Guardiola. This week against Inter Milan also play a low block for like 80 minutes. Inter just got 10 players in their box, and now we're doing that. Arsenal is doing the same thing because they have 10 players. Guardiola is normally one of those coaches that finds an answer for every question out there, but somehow he has not been able to identify, what am I gonna do when a team parks the bus in front of me? Why can you do it? And it got me so mad seeing. I think what's his name? Akanji, Ruben Diaz, and Kovacic. They're just like outside the box, just playing the ball to each other. And I'm like, you guys we know you're not gonna shoot. Everybody knows you're not gonna shoot. And we have Foden in that position, who in 1 second he can just take a good shot and do something different. And then Foden finally comes in, and Foden's playing inside the box. I'm like, I don't want Foden inside the box. I want Foden outside. And I think like that's probably what like it would have been a huge difference having Rodri or De Bruyne there, because they're just different kind of players who have such a good touch that they can just find like a pass. You know, it's like Tom, I don't know, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. They can just find through like inches of space the perfect pass for somebody. But yeah, it was 30 minutes of frustration watching Ruben Diaz, Akanji, even Walker taking crazy shots, and
But you made the keeper make saves. Like there were some legit shots, but I did feel like y'all needed to take more shots from outside because at this point you need to count on ricochets, on jumping on them, which is exactly how you did win or tie the game eventually. So it's like, yeah, I feel like you did need more shots from
we
the outside.
needed more 100%. But it's just that's why I'm like, why are these? I mean, I love Ruben, I love Akanji, but why are these guys basically the people in position to take a shot? Throw them out. Put Foden there. Put Foden
Because
there.
they're possession robots.
Even
Nobody wants to take a shot that might get blocked, and then they get countered. That's why y'all take short corners.
Well, that's my rant. It's just Guardiola. Like, there's been this week 180 minutes of the teams doing that to you, and whatever it is, just throw the ball and just I don't know, but just like it was so annoying to see these guys just.
You beat teams with low block all the time. Half the teams you play low block, so you can't say they don't figure out a way.
And it's just I think like it was more evident that Arsenal was just not gonna leave the box.
Right.
Like they had no interest of basically like they were just kicking the ball out. They were like, okay, like I'll just kick it out and they'll come back and I don't know. I was mad. I was like, I don't want to see the ball in Ruben Diaz or Akanji's feet. Can we have Grealish? Can we have Foden? Creative players there, like somebody who might take a shot, like you said, right? Maybe like in a rebound, like we score or something. So, but yeah.
All right.
And when the goal finally happened, I guess I felt, I mean, obviously, like kind of like happiness, but it's still, I think like it was too late. I think like we should have done something earlier because just I don't know. I just feel like this like the subs were like kind of coming too late.
I guess the clock made them finally start shooting more towards the end of the game. Like I felt like when the first half started, you shot a lot. Then you started looking for like the slightest needle thread of a shot chance to take it. If it wasn't there, you just kept it circulating. I did like how, like I watched how a recycling plant worked. Like I used to take my bottles down to the recycling plant. And like watching you like attack Arsenal and then clear the ball out and then you guys retrieve it and then bring it back and say, no, we're staying right here was good recycling. Lee, do you have any last thoughts on this draw? First half exciting.
Yeah, that was pretty much I said it all.
All right. What do we talk about next? Do we go Mainoo? Do we talk Chelsea? Do we talk Nottingham Forest, Brighton, and then get to Southampton, Mainoo?
I can ask you a question because it's similar to the last minute goal, basically Arsenal fans' disappointment. Southampton this week, you guys had also like a last minute situation goal. I mean, it's obviously different, but it's some similarities. Like when they score last minute, and you like, well, why did that goal was considered last minute?
I feel like you're bringing this up as a shots fired as a vindictive.
No,
this is what
I'm
happened.
not, because
I know this hurts, so let me get back at you.
I'm invested on Southampton. Like I'm watching the last 10 minutes. Ramsdale had a save. Like I think like previous play before, right? Riley, like he made a save, and the corner happens. Like when I'm thinking, finally we got 3 points, and they score a banger.
All right, so Lee, talk about the game then. And then
okay.
Answer his question.
So yeah, I'll go from the start. So we played like last week when we played against Man United. We came flying out the traps. We were on it from the first minute, like the first 30 minutes. No, we had you guys rocking. You were scared. I could see the
Calm down.
I was close enough to see the fear in Ten Hag's eyes. we were stifling you. We had you on the back foot. Come on, I'm not going to argue about the result, but we had you guys worried. I had a bunch of United fans in the group chat I was in, like going, this is bad. You turned it around though, it's fine. But this week we were bad. We played bad at the start of the game. Ipswich, and I mean this in the nicest way, this is a compliment. They are horrible to play against. And I mean that in a good way, because they're a powerful team. They're an aggressive team, not in a dirty way. They're aggressive, like they're in your faces. They press you. They challenge for the second balls. Like they're a team of like competitors. And they can play as well. They're not like when they play forward very purposeful. They're not like a long ball team, but they move the ball forwards quickly. Like they get it through the pitch quickly. And they're a really awkward team to play against, because like against some teams we can really dominate possession. We only had like 54%, so almost pretty much even against Ipswich, and we didn't play well at the start of the game. And then 10 minutes in, we have like our first attack of the game pretty much. Ball pops out to Adam Lallana, 36 years old, and he finds this just like a knife through butter, this pass he finds for Dibbling.
Half his age. He finds a kid half his age.
Yeah. Tyler Dibbling was 6 months old when Adam Lallana made his Southampton debut, which is crazy. So we've got like an OG Academy guy passing the ball to the new Academy guy. But that pass was just unreal. Dibbling's first touch was great because it took him away from two defenders that were on him, and he slots the finish in. So, I can say I was there live for his first ever Premier League goal, his first ever senior goal. And everyone was like, okay, this is we're 1-0 up now. We got a chance to build on this and settle down a little bit. And Ipswich came at us. They forced Ramsdale into some good saves. We had some moments where I was sure we were going to concede. And then we had another great chance where we went up the other end and Cameron Archer went round the keeper and just couldn't sort his feet out and ended up hitting the post. When there was like a defender back on the line, he tried to like squeeze it and it hit the post. Second half, again, like we're having a go, they're having a go. Archer missed a couple of big chances again before he got subbed off. And then Ipswich creating chances, forcing Ramsdale into more saves. And then we sort of calmed down a little bit towards the very end. We started defending well, restricting their chances. And I have no idea where the referee found 7 minutes from in this game. 7 minutes. Like I was expecting 3 or 4. He found 7 minutes, and the equalizer goes in the 95th minute, and it's not even a good goal. It's a corner that gets cleared, and it falls to their player. Their player swings a boot at it, which you will do in that scenario, but it's going straight at Ramsdale. The ball is traveling straight at him. It's an easy save. But because it's broken to a guy on the edge of the box, we've got like 3 players just throwing bodies at it. And it's come off Joe Aribo, and it's basically put it in the top corner where Ramsdale can't reach it, like a huge deflection. And like at that moment, it feels like a loss because it's the 95th minute. We've defended and we've kept them out at the back, or Ramsdale's pulled off the saves, and we think we're getting the 3 points today. On reflection though, like over the whole game, a draw is the right result, or maybe even a little bit generous to us, because we weren't our best. And like I say, I was really impressed with Ipswich and the way they play. So overall, we can't really complain about the draw, but it's just the timing of it that felt terrible, because you never want to, like, it's just a horrible way to concede right at the end, especially off a big deflection as well. It just felt like okay, the gods aren't on our side today in this moment. But like I say, overall, can't complain about the draw. We got a point as well, which
he is the most honest fan in the UK, man. He just said it. See, and I told you, this guy's the most neutral, honest fan in the UK, bro.
There's no point. I've never been blinkered. I think that's come from being a coach as well. Is that I look at the game objectively. where I can anyway. But yeah, the positives are there. We scored a goal. We have a point now, which gets us off 0. Because if we didn't get that draw, we would be the only team on 0. Which, yeah, we don't want to be in that boat. And right now, there's 3 of us on 1 point. It's us, Wolves, and Everton are on 1 point. So we're only 3rd bottom. We're not bottom right now, which is, I'll take that.
Congratulations on being 3rd bottom, man. That's great.
I mean, it's still not great. I want to be out that relegation zone, but I mean, a win would have done us the world of good, but we didn't deserve it, really.
This is how you start. You start 3rd bottom as opposed to bottom. You know what I mean? And then next week, we'll see who you got next week.
We got Bournemouth, which is, I mean, they think it's a local derby. We don't really care that much about it. Like Portsmouth's our only derby, really. But like the Bournemouth fans try and like make it a derby. It's like, no, you're sort of local to us, but we don't care that, we don't care about you like that. But it'll be a good game because they've been a good team under Iraola since he came in. They've really sort of developed a style of play. It doesn't always work. Obviously, they lost to Chelsea, lost to Liverpool. So they're going to be I think motivated to turn that form around because they're not playing badly. I think they'll be motivated to get a win against us. It's at their ground as well, and it's on my birthday. It's my birthday. It's on Monday.
Oh shit.
So I'm going to be in Bosnia though. So I'm going to be watching the game from Bosnia. I'll find a TV with it out there somewhere.
It's weird that you're going to a former war-torn territory for your birthday, but hey, man, you celebrate how you want to celebrate. You know what I'm saying?
It's fine. It's fine now. That war was the 90s.
Yeah,
that's a long time ago.
That's where I grew up in the 90s, so that's it's imprinted on my mind. Like there's all these vacation spots now that used to mean just on the news every night. Like when people talk about people say, I'm going to Vietnam. I'm like, what? And I'm like, yeah, all I grew up on Vietnam movies. You know what I mean? Like
it's cheaper, man.
Yeah, and when people talk, you're talking about going to Bosnia. I'm like, what? But all these places I know that.
In a few years, I'm going to do a Baghdad birthday.
Yeah, hopefully, hopefully that'll be possible. That means that's good. That means good for the people of Baghdad. I guess I'll talk about United versus Crystal Palace. We tied 0-0, but I said last week the pundits are like, where's United's identity? Where's United's identity? And it's like they're really clinging to, they're just looking at ways to attack our coach and say he doesn't qualify for this job. But I say trophies trump identity. But if you want identity, you got some this week. You feel me? Because Ten Hag has definitely been learning from past results, specifically the Liverpool result. And we haven't allowed a team to score a goal on us since then. It's been 3 clean sheets in a row. Unfortunately, didn't get the win. But not only were we sound defensively, even though Crystal Palace did have some chances, and our keeper had to pull off an amazing double save. He's like, Raya, this is how you double save. This is how you do that shit, because people, not just United fans, are saying that this was a better double save than the one, I guess, a week or so ago. So it's good to see Onanah like not messing up, because last week he saved a penalty, and then this week he pulled off a double save. He's got 2 clean sheets in a row. So good for him. You got to give him props for that. He definitely helped us get this point, because this would have been disappointing to lose this game, which it seemed like it was going to be. Like, it's one of those games where like you attack in waves, you create these big chances, and you don't score, and then the other team gets one chance, scores, and then they win. The more we did good and didn't score, the scared that I got. Like, I came into this game scared because of how we got battered by them last year. But then the way United played in the beginning of the game, I was like, wait a minute, I can relax. We got this. But then the more I relaxed and the more chances we created, I'm like, oh, this is one of those games where, an intruder walks into your house and you pull out your gun, and then the intruder turns your gun on you. And you're like, how did I lose that fight? So we definitely played some amazing identity football. And I've already seen some of the pundits say, yeah, they played good for a half, but it was more than just for a half. So it's just that Crystal Palace improved in the second half, but they didn't play better than us. I still think we had an even amount of attempts and shots and tries, but we dominated them down at their pitch. We had 67% possession to their 33. They're Crystal Palace at home. Their coach has been touted as this amazing coach based off the end of last year. We had him subbing out people at halftime that's normally like their best players. Like Mateta is on an amazing run. Like I forgot the stat of his goal scoring prowess. It's pretty impressive since he scored 15 out of like maybe 17 games under this coach. Halftime, the coach is like, get the fuck out. You're not doing anything for me. So United did that shit. We have so many players with amazing touch and link-up play, and we look way better than last year. So it's just great to see that. And the way Dalot played, the way he came inside, the way Mazraoui is just a god out there. Like, how much I love Wan-Bissaka, but nobody has made me not miss somebody as bad as I thought I would miss Wan-Bissaka. Mazraoui he's just doing some amazing things. Fearless, touch, speed, and combining with Ahmad. Ahmad played good, Xerxes. And we actually kind of fell apart once Crystal Palace made some subs and once we made some subs. Now, we had to make subs. Like you got to give Ugarte a few touches of the ball, right? And you got to give Hal Hoyland, who's returning from injury, some touches. But you could tell he was off. He got hurt in the preseason. This is his first game. But you got to give him some touches so that you can't just have players sitting on the bench and use them when somebody else is injured without giving them some feels. You feel me? So, but he was off, and it hurt us. Speaking of off, he was on the pitch, but his whole game was off. Bruno Fernandes, but I still love dude. And who else did we sub that didn't really? We switched sides with Garnacho. We kept him on. It just discombobulated us. We had a flow, but you playing these games. Some of these games is still our preseason. You know what I mean? Because we're getting players back. We're not starting the season with all our players, and everybody has been rotated in. We didn't start Rashford, so the pundits are like, midweek they're like, it was just Barnsley, but now they he scored 3 goals in a row. Why'd you pull him? And now it ain't just Barnsley. Now Barnsley matters when it matches your argument. Garnacho has the same amount of goals and goal involvements as Rashford. He has to play. So it's a rotation thing. So it's good. We have good problems. And Ahmad is still on the right doing his thing. So, and then now we have Hoyland back. We have Xerxes, but we got to get Hoyland in there. We got Ugarte. We got to get him a feel for the thing. So we kind of were less effective, but we still learned from Brighton, and we didn't give up a goal. Everybody gave their heart. De Ligt not only scored again, but he didn't score, but he's showing us the type of threat he will be in the future on set pieces. He's a flying piece of wood, like a plank, like you described him, that got an athletic plank. So we're glad to have that dude, and him and Martinez are teaming up well. And our midfield, when they said we're gonna start Eriksen, I'm like, what is Erik ten Hag doing? Are you out of your mind? But everybody was wrong. Nobody wanted Eriksen in the starting lineup. but he balled his ass off. So props to him. It worked out with him. And anybody, and this is for future Man United teams that's going to play Crystal Palace, and especially to Mainoo. Hey man, do not disrespect Eze. There's a bunch of times when Mainoo was like, Eze got the ball, let me rush him. And it's like, you don't rush somebody like that. He schooled Mainoo multiple times. Like, I don't know if you got confidence from playing with him in the Euros. I don't know what you did in practice, but you don't rush that dude. That dude is pure. He's Pele's son if Pele was a midfielder. He got Pele vibes. That guy has not, he's exploded, but he ain't exploded yet. He's going to show the world some shit. I think he is possibly better than Eze. He's older, so he's got more experience, but yeah, but you know, I don't feel bad about this tie. It's heartbreaking. We need to win, but it just reminds me of other teams in this league. Like when Brighton was in their ascension, they had these struggles. They didn't always win games that they outplayed teams in. And I know with Man United, we're not supposed to be in that situation, but I accept it. And we just need to keep getting stronger and growing and back the team. And we need, and I said this after the Brighton game, we did not exhibit killer instinct. We had Brighton and we didn't exhibit again in this game. So we have to grow as far as learning to ball together and playing beautiful football. That's one thing, but the things that Man City have and Arsenal might prove that they have this season is like, when you can put your foot on somebody's neck, you keep that shit there. Step on the neck with the other foot and put your knees on that shit too, and don't let up. So we need that. But yeah,
speaking of putting your foot on things, what did you
Oh, I
think
was
of
gonna say that.
Martinez's challenge?
Okay. So here's let me comment on that challenge. When I play, I do that. But it's never
I don't want to play with you then.
No. But it's never to hurt anybody. It's like there's a 50-50, right? And the person is gonna possibly get to the ball first. So I do that to just land on the ground with my legs together. So when they do kick the ball, it's gonna ricochet off my shins forward in my favor. It's never to hurt the person. So I actually understand what he was doing. I don't even know why he got a card. He did get the ball. He
Oh,
didn't
he did get a card?
Yeah, he got a
You
card.
got yellow, yeah.
He got a yellow.
Okay,
He didn't
I
even
was gonna
touch. He didn't even touch, dude. Like he never intended to. I do that, like, and nobody's ever complaining because it's just to close your legs and like create a barrier so that when they kick the ball, you get it and it goes in the direction of your momentum. So I'm not tripping over that like the pros are. What
It's
about
like
you?
it's because me and Ian were like short people, we're like 5'11", but we're like, on the field we have to act tough, like Martinez. Like you and me and we're like 5'11".
Mm-hmm.
Don't let people tell you otherwise. Me and Ian are 5'11". And when you're playing, you have to kind of show that aggressiveness. But I feel like Martinez, like that guy, if that guy basically lands the ball, I think he didn't go for the ball because he got scared of him jumping. Like he saw him jumping with the legs like that. I was like, he's gonna break my leg. So that's why he
Yeah,
got a yellow.
I'm literally
Because
watching it back now, and he didn't jump to block it. He jumped like down onto it, and the guy turned sideways to
like
make
the guy backed
he
out of the challenge. Like the guy's
yeah,
like,
he
I'm
tried.
not going for that challenge because he's gonna break my leg. Like he was.
So you're right. He intimidated him just like we would do because we're 5'11". We're not big dudes. He just intimidated. So it's fine. He didn't touch the guy. Did he touch the guy?
He didn't touch the guy, but I think like he was
Yeah,
right called a yellow card. But I think like if the guy goes, I think he gets a suspension of like 3 games.
yeah. The guy turned his foot like around. He turned sideways and moved around the ball, Kamada. And if he'd have gone in sort of side foot face on, like he's getting hurt badly there.
I mean, I don't know.
No, because I think like I like Martinez. Like I think he's a good defender, but I think he has just like me like the small guy complex, and they feel he has to be showing people like, hey, I'm gonna push and stuff. But sometimes it's like, why are you doing that play in their position box. Like there's no need for be going crazy like that. Because in Argentina, he will do the same thing in the World Cup, like going pushing up. I'm like, I know what you're doing. Cause I'm the same way, but let's be smart. You don't wanna. That's not a smart thing to do, you know.
I mean, he's been fine so far. He'll take a yellow.
They call him the butcher. They call him the butcher for a reason.
Correct.
Yeah, the butcher got to do some butcher shit sometimes. All right, guys, you can't just have the nickname all willy nilly. You got to do some shit.
Okay, yeah, and I had a last question about for you that I have for this game, but Bruno, I think like I was watching like the highlights with my friend, and he showed me, and I was like, this is exactly what I as a person I don't like Bruno, but I respect his game. Like he can be a good player. There's like a play in the second half. They're doing like some combinations because I watched like 5 times. Like they're doing like a back and forth, and Bruno gets the ball and he tries to shoot with like the outside of the foot and puts it in. And basically, if he makes it, I'm like, wow, like God, brother, like I know what you're doing. But I feel like if he shoots on the left, like he might actually have a better chance than going like that. And that's what I told my friend. Like I feel like Bruno sometimes is playing for Bruno Fernandes instead of playing for United. Like you're not doing what is gonna be just to take a normal shot instead of doing your fancy ass outside. But again, if he makes it, you have nothing to say about the guy. All you have to just clap and be like, wow, I saw what you tried to do, fam. You know.
I mean, it's a show, right? And sometimes you're feeling it and you want to show off. Like I feel like a few years ago, Bruno was like the only person with style points on the team, and he was alone. Now he's playing with a bunch of artistes, and they're combining, and he's feeling it, and he's like, "Let me put some extra stank on this, some unnecessary extra stank, which fucked up a lot of our flow." So he needs to just calm down and play basic football sometimes. So I'm not going to argue with you, but I can get where it could get you. You're at Crystal Palace where you got beat 4-0, embarrassed off the pitch, and you're like just running the game on them, and you're like, God damn, look at my team. We are killers. Look at us. And it's like, and you just get carried away and do some extra shit, which helped Crystal Palace a bunch of times. So yeah, we looked like Barca midweek versus Barnsley, and we looked like prime Barca. Again, that's a lot of points during this game. So it's good football to watch. It's what the fans want. If we had an ugly win, the pundits would have killed us. I still don't see no style of play. Yeah, to get the 3 points. But so we're damned if we do, we're damned if we don't. I just want to talk about Chelsea West Ham. I want to see how you guys feel about West Ham, because West Ham had a weird preseason. They were the laughing stock of the entire European 5 leagues. You know what I mean? Like they bought so many people, and then they got Jadon Sancho at the end. They're like, why do you need another left winger for after you bought Neto, after you got Mudryk and whoever else, the list of names I can't even remember. And then they're like, they don't even have a 9. But I'm one of the few people that believed in Nicolas Jackson since preseason last year for Chelsea.
I remember that you said that.
I want props for that. I said this guy is gonna be fine. Like
there's receipts out there. There's receipts. You have receipts that you said it.
Multiple receipts. I'm like, why do you need a 9? This guy's a 9, fam. It's like it's his first year. He got a better record than Drogba, and I'm not saying he's gonna be better than Drogba, but the stats are there, bro. 16 goals in your first season for Chelsea. Let Nicholas cook. You feel me? And he balled out. Like he scored 2 hard goals and made them look so simple. It's like the goals he would have definitely missed last year. But he needed to miss those chances last year to make them this year. I wonder why people forget how football works sometimes. It blows my mind how experts be tripping and they still don't believe in this guy. And then Cole Palmer and him, like if you're Maresca, you got to give Maresca props. Like his job ain't easy. I still don't like him because you should have never made Enzo Fernandez your captain. That's just crazy to me, especially after his exhibition, after winning the Copa America. Like that guy should not be a captain on a team with black people. He should he should play fine if you want to play him. You made actually one of your least effective players your captain, so now you have to play him. There's better players on your team than Enzo. There's Lavia and there's Vega that play better. Like I've seen them play better. He had a decent game today or this weekend, but there's better players. But just Chelsea, man, rope-a-doping the Premier League and like stabilizing themselves and getting these points. And like they went to West Ham. They gave West Ham their third home loss in the beginning of the season. I'm also laughing because you're West Ham fans, you got rid of Moyes. And look at you. Look at you. I seen Lopetegui substituting off players that he bought and putting on players that Moyes had, substituting them for Moyes players. Like you bought those people. Why are you subbing them off? You down 3-0. You got played through, fam. You got open like a can of Spam. Your team just stood there like cones, like scarecrows when when the birds just land on the scarecrow, like this is a scarecrow, it ain't gonna do nothing. We can eat this field of wheat. Ain't shit gonna happen. So anybody want to dine on this West Ham carcass and have some fun, have at it.
That's why I'm not giving Jackson his full props.
Oh, come on,
for this goal, because that first goal, I give him props for not being surprised that he made it as far as he did in order to be able to actually finish it. Because I was like, if that happened, if that happened at the game I was watching at Southampton Ipswich, I would have been tempted to run on the pitch and slap those defenders because that was criminal. If I was a coach, I would have wanted all those guys off the pitch.
What defenders?
Exactly. Like that was a genuine disgrace. And not even that, on some of the other chances as well. Like they were walking. Those guys were playing walking football like a bunch of 70-year-olds. Like that was, I just can't believe that's like, I mean, it's not acceptable at Premier League level, but I mean, I saw a clip of on the Middle Eastern Sports Channel, Be In Sport. They had David Moyes in the studio analyzing that game, and there's a clip of him just being like, "There's no fight," and he's right, because that was genuinely a disgraceful defensive effort in that game. Yeah, like I say, that if I was like a fan or a coach, whatever, I would be rage. I got angry watching it, and I don't even support him.
Hilarious.
Like, I was like, that's Mexico's best player. That's Mexico's national
midfielder.
Yeah, but
Alvarez.
He started as a center back when he came out with America. Yeah. Like he played as a center back, but eventually he got pushed to midfielder, and for some reason, I guess Lopetegui asked, who can play center back, and he raised his hand and he said, "I done it before," and he got exposed. He looked so bad. And yeah,
it wasn't just him though. And he wasn't playing centre because they had Mavropanos and Kilman. Kilman they bought from Wolves in the summer, and Mavropanos they were playing as a centre back. So Alvarez was playing in like the role in front of them.
I think Alvarez was playing like a center back. I don't think he was.
No, he was CDM. He was CDM. Let me look.
Yeah, because it was Wan-Bissaka, Mavropanos, Kilman, and Emerson was the back four.
Because look it up. Because I trust you guys more than my dad. But my dad was basically saying that it's like, why is he playing center back? He's not a center back. And I'm like, Dad, you go call the coach.
He was the center back of a back three, which is really a back five. So it's like they played a 3/5. So it's supposed to
be like a team like where it's
Alvarez
like
and Kilman, yeah.
It's like a back three, but Alvarez is supposed to push up and be like the floating CDM center back, but it's just dumb. Like it's like, why are you exposing my boy, man? Like you guys made it look horrible. And the guy next to him, his name is Guido Rodriguez. When I was a kid, like he was I adore that guy. Like I grew up basically wanting to be him. But he's like 30 something. Like he should not be playing by himself as a center midfielder.
But
Yeah.
that's my
I mean,
point. They bought
technically
him.
none of them were playing defense. It was just hard to watch.
So West Ham, this Rodriguez guy, West Ham bought him this season. That's
Signed
a
him
low
for free.
From
He
Sevilla,
was a free agent.
From Betis.
So that's a
He,
Lopetegui call.
Yeah, that's a Lopetegui's call. And but
Why
trust me,
were Lopetegui's calls or players that he brought in so old? Like Fulkrug is in his 30s. This guy's in his 30s, just playing in the Premier League for the first time against these teams that's all pace. Like it's kind of a bananas. He was the first person Lopetegui substituted Rodriguez and didn't even say shit. They didn't say shit to each other when they walked off the field.
well, I'll tell you how much I like how much I like. We call him Guido Rodriguez. I like him so much that if I was a City as a backup for Rodri, I'll be happy. And like okay, because like getting 20 minutes at City when we're like it's everything's in place for you, like where you don't have to be. We got you. You just don't mess up. I'll be stoked. But him being the main guy, like as a midfielder, like you're putting the guy in a bad position. Like that's not a. This is not. This is different league.
Yeah. What are the odds? Like your Jadon Sancho, right? You ball out last week in your first game as a substitute for Chelsea, and they're like, you know what? We're going to start you this week, and then they start you, and right in front of you is your ex-teammate, the best one-on-one guy in the league, Wan-Bissaka, and you can't do shit. like he gets you substituted, even though you're up and you won. But it's like it's Wan-Bissaka. You ain't gonna beat him. You ain't gonna beat him. So it's like everything what Sancho did last week. None of that was happening down that side of the pitch. But they went through the middle. Is there anything besides fantasy league we need to talk about? Any other games?
Just quickly gonna say that I don't know how basically sometimes Luis Diaz gets on like I think you know what we have a clip about you saying that you said something about him being like possessed or having like a demon inside of him. Luis Diaz, Liverpool. I remember you made a clip about him saying like sometimes this guy gets like he has like a demon inside of him or he's possessed and he's just running non-stop, making crazy runs.
Relentless.
And I love him. I love him. Like I just love watching that guy. I think he scored 2 goals or 3 goals.
Let me tell you what Luis Diaz does. Luis Diaz is a forward with CDM energy. Like he runs like Declan Rice, but as a left winger, like nonstop. Like normally wingers don't play like that. They pick their moments, they wait. But this guy, like anywhere the ball be at in his vicinity, he's there. And he got 2 goals for Liverpool this week. And he's, he took that Canote pass. And listen, anybody at Bournemouth who felt like Kepa was their answer, I don't want to shit on Kepa, but we all know Kepa, right? We from Chelsea. And there's a reason why they got rid of him. And I don't know why Bournemouth is like, this is going to be our guy. He did make some good saves initially against Liverpool. But yeah, man, Luis Diaz and Darwin Nunez. Congrats to Darwin Nunez for like scoring in his first start for Liverpool. Much maligned, but did his thing.
If I was to ask you guys a question, out of the 25 players that are on Liverpool, where is Luis Diaz as far as his salary ranked? Like top 10, top like low 20? Where do you guys see him?
He won't be up there with the top guys. Like he won't be like Salah level, Trent level, Alisson level, Van Dijk level, even Robertson level.
He's currently the 18, like the backup goalie. I think he's getting paid 45 or 55 a week. So and I think he's probably out. I think he's probably gonna leave next season.
You think he's gonna leave or just get a new contract?
No, because I think like they were in talks about getting a new contract, and I think he's trying to. I don't know where he's trying to go, but he's been getting paid 50,000. I mean, it's a lot of money, right? 50,000 stuff income, but
It's it's not when you it's basically this is your lifetime money.
yeah.
So you should really spread. It says a year, but it's a 3-year contract that really counts for 30 years of your life. So
He's
Also,
basically getting one ninth of what Salah gets a year.
also
yeah,
though, that's probably good for him. Like players play well when they're in this position. If he signed a big contract with Liverpool, like a big new contract, I guarantee you his form would drop. This is what happens. Other clubs have seen it. Like I remember, like Aubameyang. When Aubameyang was playing for a contract, he was one of the best players in the world. As soon as he got a new contract, one of the worst forwards I've seen in the Premier League. Like it happens with players. Like that, they'll be motivated to get those deals, and then as soon as that deal comes in, but I mean, Salah's out of contract in the summer, so if Salah does decide that he's leaving Liverpool, it wouldn't surprise me if they throw decent money at Diaz to keep him there.
yeah, because he's a fact. I don't believe Luis Diaz is the type of person to change after a contract. Luis Diaz is what Red Bull puts in their cans. Like that guy
Also,
is,
you can't give Diaz more money. If they give him more money, his dad's going to get kidnapped again.
but he
They can
needs
demand
that money to
they can
rescue his
demand
parents.
they can demand a higher ransom though if he's getting
Well,
paid
well,
more.
that's why they gave him back. 'Cause he told them like, look at how much I get paid, and they're like, oh, okay, like, we're gonna get Salah's dad. I'm like, yeah, get that guy's
I
dad.
feel like Luis Diaz PR team is like, we're gonna tell the world you're the 18th most paid player, and that you only get 45 a week because, and we're gonna pay you under the table just as long as the league knows how much you get paid. And
That's true.
you're not doing anything illegal. You were doing this. We're saying that you only get this so that to protect your parents. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, fine. You want to do? I mean, I just want to say I'm glad what happened. I hate Brighton after they beat us. So for two undefeated teams to go up against each other and then Brighton think they got this win and to also go up a man and then uh who is it? Nottingham Forest to find a way to come back and score a goal and steal two of the 3 points from them. Like, is it not the Forest? West is not the. Let me see. Let me see. Yeah, just want to make sure I'm on the right week. Nottingham Forest
Yeah, it's 2-2.
versus 2-2. So that. Do you think that was? Did they give Gibbs White a straight red or a second yellow? Was that a yellow?
I believe it was a second. I believe it was a second yellow, but it wasn't even a foul, let alone a card.
Just a hard, good, honest tackle.
Yeah, he won the ball, and then he got some of the player as well. But in my opinion, that was fine.
Yeah, I'm conflicted. Like if they never gave him a card for that, I would have been fine with that. There shouldn't even been a whistle. You're saying, right?
Yeah, yeah, and then obviously the managers got involved, and they both got sent off as well.
Yeah,
Like Nuno was angry,
yeah.
and rightly so, because yeah, it was a bad decision in my opinion.
Well, at least he's probably happier in the locker room after they pulled it off. So Nuno's doing good at Forest. And again, he played this game completely different than he did last week. He started Elanga and Callum Hudson-Odoi, but then he brought on some subs, and those subs subsequently set up the tying goal. Gibbs White, great pass, and playing the 10 role, and then one guy passing who scored, Sosa or the other guy, but the two subs combined.
So Sosa got the equalizer.
Got the equalizer, and the other guy assisted him. Who
Mm.
some of Nuno's last calls before he got sent off. So good for them. You want to do fantasy league, and then I talk about just next week's Forest versus. We got two big games. We got United versus Spurs, and Forest versus City. That's some big shit. That's some Newcastle versus Man City, Man United, versus Spurs. Let me just go ahead.
City Newcastle is the game next week.
Yeah, Man City Newcastle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that, Alex? City Newcastle. Newcastle got beat this week by.
They normally when they play. I mean that should be like that's my derby. Like when you guys talk about Arsenal, this is the derby. You know, like the what Qatar against Qatar is it Saudi against Man City. You know, so.
The human rights abuses derby.
God damn.
The oil derby, man. It's called the oil derby. Yeah.
Oil derby. So who you got in your oil derby, fam?
I think City's gonna come. Just unfortunately for Newcastle, all the anger, all the frustration that we experienced for the past week, we'll release it on them. So Haaland hat trick.
Haaland hat trick. You think Newcastle's going to sit back? They sat back versus
no. They those games, they're good games. Like last time I think we were losing 3-1, and I actually I went back to work. I was so mad that I went back to work. I'm so mad at City. And then I checked my phone and we scored 3-2 and we ended up winning it. That was like the first time that what's his name? I just forgot his name. The guy that got City's Norwegian kid that got injured. Oscar Bob. Like that's when he won. He had the winner goal last minute. So yeah.
Well, just so you know how you said you're bad against low block teams. Like there's no shame in Eddie Howe's game. He will counter. So you up there, he just wants to win. He just lost against Fulham, so he's probably gonna be like, "Yo, let's. I need to get something from these teams to." So
I can see that.
So watch your back up there because they're gonna try to go behind it. As far as Man United versus Tottenham, this is a tough call. I don't know how we're gonna approach this game. I feel like if we play Spurs how we played City in the FA Cup, we could beat them. No problem. You know what I mean? There'll be a problem, but we could beat them. But because we're trying to develop this new identity, that could be the danger. And I'm like I said, we've figured out a way in the last 3 games to not give up any goals. But this would be the best offensive team we'd be trying this thing against. And I don't know, I guess, should we try it out and see if it really works against a team that creates a lot of chances, or should we just chill? Or should we do it and then pull back, get the goals and then pull back and then counter? So let's see what Ten Hag does. This will be difficult, but we need to get the 3 points. I mean, he won't get fired if we tie, but we can't keep dropping points. But I do think this is a work in progress. And like I said, I feel, this is what I felt before the podcast. Like later on in the season, we'll be on this long run of successive points or games without a loss. So we have a game midweek versus 20. If we could like look good against them, even though people are going to be like, it's the Europa League, which ironically will be played on a Champions League day. And I thought it was funny that we play on a Champions League day and Arsenal's in the Champions League and they played on a Europa League day. So what's really going on here? Like the script has been flipped. But yeah, we'll see. I still, based on how we were at Crystal Palace, believe we can get some points out of this game from Spurs. You want to do fantasy, or you want to say anything about any of these? Either y'all. In Southampton, you got Bournemouth.
Yeah.
And you did bring that up before.
Yeah. I want to give a quick shout out to one of our former players, though, Shea Adams. He is riding high at the top of Serie A. He joined Torino in the summer when his contract expired for us. And they are top of Serie A right now. It's only 5 games. But I mean, no one ever expects Torino to be at the top of the league ever. So to be there after 5 games. They're unbeaten. He came off the bench and scored for them in a 3-2 win against Verona at the weekend. So yeah, he's scored a couple of goals from out there. He's loving life. I'm pleased for him as well. You know, he was inconsistent for us, but in terms of his finishing, but his work rate was always on point.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, more power to him. I'm glad he's doing well out there. Yeah, it's cool to see, and for for the American perspective, Pulisic scored for AC Milan in the big derby against Inter.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fun game to watch. I watched that. It was a spicy one. They were obviously, you know, both teams not wanting to lose that one, and yeah, Real Madrid, AC Milan scored the winner off a set piece as well at the end, because it was 1-1, and then they got the second goal. So yeah, those ones are cool. Fantasy League, I got it up now. I'm so annoyed because I didn't captain Haaland again. I went Salah again this week because I thought
No,
against Bournemouth.
that's what you get for following my dumb advice.
Yeah. I gained on Martin, and I was ahead of him until the City Arsenal game, and then he snuck back ahead of me by 3 points. So there's only 3 points between me and Martin right now. He's 9th,
Right.
I'm 10th. So we're in there. I got like 29 points on him this week. So yeah, I beat him on the game week, but in terms of the total table, I'm a little bit behind. But I had a good week. Like all of my midfielders did fairly well. Like, I mean, they didn't score as much as Haaland, but I had Salah in there who got an assist and a clean sheet. I had Mbumo who scored. I had Palmer who scored. I had Dibbling who scored. I had Konsa at the back for me who scored. I had Mazraoui clean sheet. And I had Haaland in there, just not captain. So yeah, I got a decent amount of points. Brian Avina is still top. He's killing it.
Damn, right.
But Ahmad Zekri has slipped from 2 to 3. He's been overtaken by Eric Hergenreder. So Eric's now squeezed into that second spot. But
Get him,
yeah,
Eric.
it's all it's all pretty close still. It's early days. Yeah, and shout out to Corbin Stowe, who is bottom. He's 40th out of 40. So I
That's cold
think he
blooded.
might. I think he might have joined late. Did he? Let me have a look at his points. Yeah, he only joined in game week 3, so we'll let him off. We'll let him off. We had some late arrivals to the league, but yeah, it's good and competitive so far. It's early days, so there's still lots to play for, because it's a good week can send you up a bunch of places. Bad week can send you down a bunch of places. I went down loads of places last week, and I went up a bunch of places this week. So, yeah, it is what it is.
Tell me a little bit about the fight. I didn't know you were going to the fight until I was on your Instagram. What made you go to that, and how was it?
So it was a mad day. So I looked on Friday night, and I saw that there were some cheap resale tickets. So the ticket I got was meant to be £185, and I got it for 60. Because I just looked on Ticketmaster and like the official resale. And yeah, I was at the Southampton game in the afternoon, and then I finished that game, got in my car, drove up to London to Wembley Stadium, and I got there. I missed all of the undercard, but I got to the stadium in time to just as the second to last fight was finishing, and then I got to see Liam Gallagher came out and did like a mini concert. So that was pretty cool, even though the sound was terrible. And then yeah, it was Anthony Joshua against Daniel Dubois, all British fight, 96,000 people at Wembley, which is the record attendance at Wembley for a sporting event. It was pretty wild. It was yeah, I mean, I spoke about human rights abuses. This one was being funded by Saudi Arabia, so it was yeah, there was a fair bit of sports washing going on there too. But I mean, it was a hell of a show. They the pyrotechnics and everything, the ring walks and everything were quite extravagant. I mean, the ring walks took like 10 minutes each. It felt like it was a long one. But like this was meant to be, you know, like Anthony Joshua, because he dismantled Francis Ngannou in that exhibition fight a few months back, and everyone was like, "Oh, Joshua's back," and yeah, then he got fucked up against Dubois. Dubois beat him up.
He beat him. He beat him. How long did the fight last?
It lasted 5 rounds, but you could tell from round 1 he was done. Like he got knocked down in round 1, got saved by the bell. Round 2, he tried to sort of compose himself. Round 3, he got saved by the bell again because he got messed up again. And then round 5, he actually started hitting him with some shots, and he got a bit confident and cocky and tried to go in, and then he just got hit with a counter punch, and he was done. He was down. He couldn't even get up. So it was it was a good fun fight to watch.
The get up was embarrassing.
He tried to get up and it was like face planted.
Your face planted, stick your ass up in the air. It's like face down, ass up. That's the way you're like a two life crew music. It was embarrassing. Like that'll always you just self-memed right there. Like I like Anthony Joshua, but he's done. I hope he has enough money for the rest of his life, but I knew he was done. I don't know. Yeah. Somebody wrote, "Is Anthony Joshua is done?" It's like, who didn't know that? He just don't got it, fam. How old is he now?
I think he went into his 30s, but the thing is, his promoter Eddie Hearn will try and get more fights out of him because he's a cash cow. Like he's still a draw. Like he still got 96,000 people to Wembley for this fight. And none of them were there. None of them were there for Dubois, who won. Everyone was there to see Joshua. And he got fucked up. I mean, if they can make it happen, I think Joshua Fury would be like a big payday. That fight should have happened years ago.
They never fought.
No, they didn't. They were ducking. Like it should have happened because that would have been like the big British fight, but it never happened. And I think now that neither of them have any belts, that they'll probably try and make that happen just to get a payday.
How does Fury not have a belt? Didn't he win his last fight?
No, Usyk took him.
Oh, Usyk, Usyk beat Joshua too. Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, he won all the belts and then he had to vacate this one, so it got put on the line for this fight. Dubois is I think IBF. I'm not sure which one it is. He's got one of the belts now. But yeah, it was an interesting fight to watch. Like Fury was there watching, Usyk was there watching, Conor McGregor. It was an interesting audience.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I didn't know you were going. You didn't mention it and everything. I was like, he's at the fight.
Yeah. I decided Friday night that I was going to go to it on Saturday night.
Hilarious. I like that. I like those audibles.
Yeah, I saw a good price ticket. I was like, yeah, if I get this go.
All right, cool. Let's wrap this up. You got anything to plug? Any more contests, Alex, that you're gonna fail at?
I'm not doing that. A very person told me, man, I forgot what you said, but when I asked you for a contest, you were like, "That's a crapshoot or something, right?" I don't know what you said.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm done with those things, man.
I said it's a crapshoot, and then you tried to rig it, and it failed. And just to prove how much of a crapshoot it is, even when you rig it.
I did pull up with 2 of my Sunday League teams, their moms and stuff. And I was like, hey, what's going on? And still didn't win it,
Yeah, and it's shady when they don't vote on the spot. They're like, we'll tell you who won through email. Like, but I ain't enter no comedy contest like that. Tell me, right? You tell everybody in front of everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, why
show the votes? You show me the names.
Yeah.
All the receipts. In this podcast, we have receipts,
Deal with the consequences of like lying.
Alex is sounding like Trump after 2020.
And just like we got receipts, Ian said Nicolas Jackson next Drogba. There's receipts for that.
Shit, Drogba doesn't have as many goals as we think.
I know. Yeah, he was just like good to watch.
He's definitely a legend, but he's not as prolific as. But I think back then, like Ronaldo and Messi changed prolificness, and then there were people who were prolific for like a season. That were more prolific than than Drogba for like a season. Like what's the guy that played at AC Milan, then he went to Chelsea, but he never was good. And then the guy
Shevchenko?
Shevchenko. Remember, like he had a few seasons where how is he scoring at this rate in Italy, right? It was Italy. But then he went to Chelsea and then nothing. And then
Torres didn't do well at Chelsea either.
Right. But Liverpool for like a season. Yeah. But even Costa, that I feel like Costa scored maybe a little bit more than Drogba, but he definitely was a focal point and he did everything that you need to do to be a Chelsea legend, except send texts back to Conte after you win the title, saying I don't know what the hell's going through Diego Costa's mind. But yeah, for me, check me out on Instagram at Ian Edwards Comic, and I got some shows coming up. I'll be at Denver on Wednesday, September 25th, and at the Well in Bakersfield on the 28th. And then in October, like I think 10th to 12th, I'll be in Edmonton at the comic strip in Edmonton. And I got 2 more dates to post.
How was Batavia this weekend?
Batavia is a dope club, man. Like, just as a comic, like sometimes when you're traveling to a club you've never been to before, you have these apprehensions. Like, we create these fears. But some comics had told me it's a good club. Like Paul Elia had been there, Jesus Trejo had been there, and then they put you in a nice hotel in a walk-in strip of town where you could hang out and walk around, and there's lakes. So it's like a quaint town, and at Christmas time they do that shit up. So you're in a Hallmark movie. So I was teasing them about that, and then it's a 4-mile Uber to the club, and that's another quaint town, back to back next to each other, with a cool strip. And the people at the club were dope, so I appreciate it. The owner and the manager, their both name is Liz, so it was confusing. So, but at least if you call somebody the wrong name, you were calling them the right name. So I appreciated that. So the 2 Liz's and just all the staff, it was cool, man. We got some people to come out, so it was a pleasant experience. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, for sure.
Where was that the clips that you posted with the translator? There's like you posted something about a translator, like a girl and a guy speaking Korean. Where was that at?
That was at the Punchline, like
Punchline,
2 weekends ago. Punchline in San Fran. Yeah. I got some more clips from that. I'm gonna post one tomorrow.
All right. I like it. I'll comment on that. I'll share it.
Yeah, jump on those. All right, everybody, enjoy Champions League. Even though we didn't go through it, but yeah, enjoy Champions League. Enjoy your UEFA Cup. When is Conference League gonna play? Did they play?
I'm not sure. Champions League isn't back until 1st of October, so they got another week until that. Let's have a look at like Europa Conference.
Yeah, they gotta.
Europa Conference League is next week as well, the same as Champions League. So this week is Europa League on its own, and then next week is Conference League and Champions League again.
All right, come on, United. Let's do this, baby. And guys, it's been a pleasure. Everybody be good to each other. Have a fun week. And may your team win, unless that shit is against mine.